Hello, and welcome to the first edition of BNEWS Sports Hub. I'm your host, Liz Gillespie. Each month, we'll be having a conversation with different teams, coaches, and players at Burlington High School. This fall, with fall just around the corner, we decided to start off this month with the Burlington High School Red Devils football team. We'll have a chat with head coach Dan McKay, as well as two senior captains, quarterback Kyle Pena and tackle Chris Jones. We'll also have the Red Devils review with Robert Paris and our player spotlight. That's all right here, right now, on this month of BNEWS Sports Hub. Our discussion about the BHS football team, we will offer you a little refresher of the past couple of seasons. Now we'll go to BNEWS sports reporter Robert Paris for the Red Devils review.
Hello, and welcome to the Red Devil Review. In 2017, a new face was seen at Burlington High School football, head coach Dan McKay. McKay has been a former coach for a number of towns and a social studies teacher in Burlington. The new head coaching position was announced shortly after former head coach Shaw McGuire resigned after 24 seasons. With his years of experience, McKay brought a new defensive and offensive schemes for the Red Devils. Working alongside him is defensive coach Pat McGee, offensive and defensive line coach Kevin McDonough, wide receiver coach Dan Murphy, and running back assistant Brent Lovelace. McKay wasn't the only key member new to the team. Sophomore Kyle Pena began his career as a starting quarterback in the 2017 season. As the coaching staff adjusted to the new system, so did the players on the field, but it was a season for growth. The Red Devils lost 8 games in a row, but eventually got their first win over the Revere Patriots. However, that would be their only victory of the year. McKay's team finished with a 1-10 record. As the 2017 season faded into memory, the team was already ramped up for 2018. Coach McKay and the Red Devils had a strong start during his second season. The team went 3-0 before losing to the Sonam Spartans. Burlington won their next 5 games, but then suffered a 4-game losing streak after a defeat in Melrose. The Red Devils also qualified in the MIAA playoff tournament, but lost in the first round to the Wayland Warriors. Although not a winning season, Burlington set 2 school records. Running back Jake Doherty set a single-game rushing record of 425 yards. This is the 4th most in a single game in Massachusetts history. Junior Ryan O'Halloran set the longest touchdown reception of 98 yards. Now, as the Red Devils head into the beginning of September, the players are ready to make use of the skills they have been taught and put them to use on the field, one game at a time. Let's take a look at some of the stats from the 2017-2018 football seasons. In 2017, sophomore and starting quarterback Kyle Pena threw 18 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, and a total of 2,132 passing yards. In 2018, Pena, now a junior, completed 145 completions, 291 passing attempts, and threw for 2,057 passing yards. He had a passing percentage of 49.83%. and a total of 21 touchdowns. He was also the Middlesex League All-Star and All-Conference. In 2017, sophomore and wide receiver Ryan O'Halloran had 57 catches, 7 touchdowns, and a total of 883 receiving yards. In 2018, O'Halloran, now a junior, had 57 receptions, gained 1,156 receiving yards, and 8 touchdowns. In 2017, sophomore and safety Jake McCauley had 84 total tackles. In 2018, He matched that strong performance with another 84 tackles. In 2018, senior running back Jake Doherty had 191 carries, 1,510 rushing yards, and 17 touchdowns. Doherty also served as the cornerback as well and had 3 interceptions. Lastly, in 2018, senior defensive end Andrew Woods had 3 sacks for the season. That's all for your Red Devils review. I'm Robert Paris. Back to you, Liz.
Thanks, Robert. Now let's talk football. So how's it going, Mr. McKay?
I'm great, Liz. How are you?
I'm great. So you're heading into your 3rd season, right?
That's correct, yep.
So what are some things you've learned along the way?
So first off, I've kind of learned what our student athletes can do and what they excel at, and I've gotten a better feel for kind of who we are as a football team as we've been able to get our schemes and what we do onto film, both offensively, defensively, and special teams. We've been able to figure out what we need to tweak, where we need to be better, and what we need to fix with the personnel that we have. And I think I understand and know the personnel much better going into my 3rd year. I know who all the student athletes are. I understand what they can and can't do. So us as a coaching staff, we're much better at being able to put them in a spot that's going to help them be successful. And from a culture perspective, which is probably more important in the schemes that we run, the student athletes understand what we expect as a staff, and what we're starting to see now, which is awesome, which is what you want. We're starting to see our seniors, captains like Kyle and Chris, and our other seniors starting to hold our other student athletes accountable to a high standard that we have set. So that's been the biggest jump and the biggest thing I've seen, and this has been our best off-season and preseason from a focus and attitude standpoint. We have now our student athletes are the ones that are kind of leading the charge, and they've been working extremely hard all preseason, so We're very excited going forward.
How much rollover have you had from the past 3 seasons? Like same people or?
Yes, in terms of the coaching staff?
In terms of the players.
So in terms of the student athletes, we lost 12 seniors last year. We'll have 6 seniors this year, but we've got 20 juniors.
Oh, wow.
So it's a very, the junior and senior class, very good, very athletic, very competitive. So we're excited to see those 2 classes kind of come together. And we've had 22 freshmen sign up to play football this year, which is awesome, which is a lot higher numbers than some of the other schools. So we're excited about that. We're our Future Devils clinic and us trying to be out in the community. We're hoping that's going to help and keep those numbers up as we go through, and some of the player safety stuff we're doing. So we're doing those kind of things to keep the numbers rolling and keep moving forward with a nice, strong program.
Wow, that's great. What has the coaching staff and players been doing in the off season?
So what we do when the season ends, we take about 2 months off, and then we'll offer a strength and conditioning program for anybody that wants to do it. It doesn't just be a football player; it can be anybody. Luckily for us, and this is something I believe in, 90% of our student athletes play 3 sports. A lot of our guys do track, basketball, hockey. In the spring, we got baseball, lacrosse, and track. So our student athletes stay very busy, which I think is awesome. So they're not always using the same muscles over and over. I think all the different sports help each other out. For those who don't, we only have like 4 or 5 who didn't play 3 sports. We'll offer a program for them to do after school, as well as anybody else in the weight room that wants to do it. So we'll do that, and then once we get to June, we get everybody back. We do another strength and conditioning program over the summer that's offered to everybody in the school to help us get into shape and ready for the football season, because it is a long season. It's a physical game, and the strength and conditioning part, it makes you stronger and more explosive, but it also helps with injury prevention, which is very important.
So you were mentioning the football clinic. Did you have any really standout freshmen, like new incoming stars?
Yeah, we do. We do have some bright talent, it looks like there,
Cool.
at the quarterback position, receiver position, offensive line. We got 8 or 9 offensive linemen out, which is awesome. So it looks like that incoming freshman class is going to be very good. So we're very excited about them and what they're going to do in the program.
So how are you teaching the freshmen with the offense and the defense?
Yeah, so they always start practice with us, and then our 2 freshman coaches will teach the offense and defense the same way we do at the varsity level, from a technique perspective and terminology perspective. However, the schemes are very basic. We keep it more basic with the freshmen to get them acclimated to what we do so they can play faster. So we keep it basic for them to get them rocking and rolling, and then so when they come up to us next year, they kind of have a foundation, and they already know what to expect from practice, and they already know what to expect for what to do on offense, defense, and special teams.
Nice.
And our freshman coaches do a great job of that.
Awesome. So football starts like much earlier than the other sports.
That is correct, yeah.
Why do you guys do that?
So what the state did a couple of years ago was gave us some more practices for heat acclimation to get our student athletes in better condition. So we start August 16th, so we start a full week before all the other fall sports too. In football, a lot more goes into the game than most other games because you have so many moving parts. There's 3 different parts of the game, and then offense and defense, you got 3 different units out there. So there's a lot of teaching that goes into football, so you kind of need those extra days as well. So that's why we get more time.
So how often do you guys practice? Like every day after school?
Yeah, so we're a Monday through Saturday operation. During the week, Monday through Thursday, we're after school. Games are Friday nights, except for our first game will be on a Saturday this year, but that's the only time. JV and freshmen play on Saturday. The varsity comes in just for a recovery day on Saturday and watch the previous night's film. Players are off on Sunday. Coaches are getting game plans together on Saturday and Sunday. So for the coaches, it's 7 days. For the players, it's 6 days. So it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun at the same time when you see student athletes have success. So that's why I think football is great. You play once a week. You do all that work leading up to the game, and to see it come to fruition in the game is a lot of fun.
Super cool. So you're both a teacher and a coach. So
Yes.
what's it like to do both simultaneously?
It's actually been pretty unique. I was a teacher. I've been here at Burlington for 14 years, going to my 12th year teaching. Before I was the head coach here, I coached at different schools, so it was weird teaching here and then going coaching somewhere else. It was kind of separate. Now I have everything here, which I like because I get to monitor grades. And so, I love being in the classroom. I love teaching U.S. history. Love being with the students and having fun in there, learning about that. And then it's fun to go from the classroom back out to the field and be able to coach then football, because there's a lot of similarities between teaching and coaching. You got to have a sequence. You got to be organized. You need to be prepared. It's the same in both. Good teaching is good teaching. Coaching is teaching. So it's a lot of fun.
Nice. So Kyle Pena, your starting quarterback since sophomore, who I'll be talking to later.
Mm-hmm.
How far has he come?
So this will, again, like you said, this will be his third year starting for us. He's always had a phenomenal arm. He's picked up on the offense really quick. He's got one of the best work ethics of any student athlete I've coached, and I've been fortunate enough to be around 2 Gatorade Players of the Year in both Burlington and Lexington, and he's right there with them in terms of work ethic, in terms of talent. They're all different with their skill sets, but he's right there. So he's matured a lot from a physical standpoint. From a behavior standpoint, he's always been there. He's always worked hard. He has not missed a lift. He's always working hard in practice. He's one of the most coachable players I've ever coached. You tell him to do something, he does it how you want it done, and he does it that way every single time, which is awesome. So I would say from a physical standpoint, he's gotten very strong. He's strong. He's gotten faster. He's gotten quicker. He's quicker going through his reads in our pass progressions that we do. So I'm very excited to see what kind of year he has, and the future is very bright for him.
So what are you expecting from him now that he's a senior? He's been with him all this time.
Right. So to me, he's a phenomenal football player. Now it's that leadership part, being a little bit more vocal, which he's done a good job of for us in the offseason, because he's led by example since day one.
Nice.
Now it's the vocal part and getting the younger kids to come up to his level, get up to his standard with him, because he's kind of embodies what our standard is here at Burlington football.
So you lost more than 20 seniors last year. Did that really affect the team?
So we lost about 12 or 13 seniors. We lost them. That's okay. That's all right. So we lost them we lost 4 offensive linemen, we lost 3 defensive linemen, and we lost our running back. I would say that they were very good players, obviously, but our juniors who have replaced the line and our junior and senior at running back have done a phenomenal job of replacing them and picking it up and having the same kind of level of focus and intensity that those guys had. So they've proven themselves to be moving in the right direction in our first tri-scrimmage on Saturday and our practice with Arlington today.
Nice. So talk a little bit about your schedule that's coming up. What's new? What's coming up? What's going on?
Yeah, so this year is kind of unique because Thanksgiving is so late this year.
Yeah.
So we have an extra week this year. So we actually have a bye week next week. So so we have our game scrimmage coming up this Friday against Lowell at Burlington High School, 7 o'clock. We play it just like a game.
Cool.
And then we usually have our first game next week. But because the year's longer, we're actually in a bye week next week. So next week will be all about fundamentally sound. We'll do situational football, a lot of situational football next week. And then the week after is our first game week. We'll play Lawrence that first game on a Saturday afternoon, 1 o'clock in Lawrence, September 14th. And then we have games every single week until we get to Thanksgiving. The week before Thanksgiving, we're off that week. And then we play Thanksgiving on the 28th. So it's an 11-game season. We're looking forward to it.
Nice.
Looking forward to get the games going. These guys have put a lot of work in, and yeah, we're excited.
How many home games you got this year?
Again, things are different with the games as well. We play 7 regular season games, and after that, we don't know.
Yeah.
After that, it's who you're playing in the playoffs, and you don't know where you're going. So out of our first 7 games, we have 3 home games.
Nice.
3 out of 4 are home.
So tell me a little bit more about Thanksgiving. So Lexington's coming here this year, right?
Yes, Lexington will be coming here. This will be our third time playing each other. And what will be different about this year is Lexington has a new coach.
Oh, wow.
Their coach moved on to another school. So they'll look a little bit different with how they do things, but we're looking forward to that challenge. Looking forward to getting over the hump in that game.
So you only started 3 years ago. So what made you want to become the head coach here?
It's always been an aspect. I mean, I've been around football since I was 8 years old. Played all the way through Pop Warner High School and college,
Nice.
and actually kind of fell backwards into coaching. Never thought I'd like it. My old varsity coach called me up, asked me if I wanted to coach a freshman. Ended up loving it. And as I started going through and working my way up to varsity and defensive coordinator, I realized that I wanted to be a head coach because I enjoyed it so much. I enjoyed the structure of it. I just enjoy the game a lot. Obviously, it's different as a coach. It's a lot more mentally draining as you're trying to get everybody in the right spots and trying to get everybody situated. You're doing a lot more thinking during the game to get your players in the right spots and to be successful. As I went through and had some success, I felt like I could be a good head coach, and it's something that I want to challenge myself with and do. And I thought this would be a great place to do it because I teach here. I had coached against Burlington for years and felt like they were always tough kids and wanted to coach here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you coach any other sports or just football?
I used to coach basketball. I coached basketball for 11 years, but I'm just football now because football consumes pretty much my year-round, getting better in the off-season with clinics and then getting 8th graders to come here and getting to meet parents and things of that nature.
So you went to Boston College Football Clinic in March. What did you learn there?
Yeah, so we actually went to a couple. We went to a Glacier one in February, went to the BC one in March. At the BC one, what I love about that one is their head coach is a very fiery guy, and that's the kind of coach that I like. I like to be yelled at. I like the guy that would get on me and get me angry to play hard, and that's who he is. He's intense, he's awesome, and he does a very good job of talking to us as a group about the importance of high school football and that it's up to us to keep it going and don't love your kids to death, but hold them to a high standard, push them, make them compete in those things. And then what they do is they break us off into 3 offensive sessions they'll have for an hour each. They have college coaches in the area come in.
Nice.
Like for example, a BC coach did a tight ends clinic, then a coach from Maine came in and did a clinic on his offense, and then a running backs coach came in and did his clinic on what he does with his running back. So, and then you get the defensive side of the ball. Again, the best coaches in the area in New England will come in and do those clinics. You get to pick which one you want to go to, and then what's really nice, we got to go out to see them practice in their new facility, $52 million facility, just absolutely gorgeous, and it's fun to be out there in the field to see some Division I guys running around playing football.
Nice. So what was your coaching career like at the other schools that you coached at?
Yeah, so I started in Barica, fall of 2006. I coached the freshman team there for 2 years. And then I moved up to the varsity team in Barica, coaching the receivers and defensive backs. That's where I played as well. That's kind of how I got into Barica. I coached them for 3 years, and then I got the defensive coordinator job in Barica. And then I moved to Lowell Catholic in Lexington, where I was a DC both times there. And then this job opened up at Burlington, and I applied for that and was fortunate enough to be given the opportunity and the privilege to have it.
So is it similar or different or kind of both?
Oh, it's a lot different. It's a lot different when you're the head coach. You're in charge of a lot more. You're in charge of a lot of administrative things like schedules, practice, moving the practice along, making sure it stays on time. You're in charge of your assistant coaches, making sure they're all on the same page, understand what we're doing. You're in charge of the entire program. You're in charge of 62 kids at the end of the day. And you have your assistants, obviously, to help with all that, and we have great assistants that do that. And then you got to run the parent meetings, you got to run the banquet, and you got to manage the game. And then I call the offense as well. And then my defensive coordinator calls the defense. So, and then you have to have what's your pregame going to be. We're very, very organized there. And then I coordinate when we meet in the off season as a group of coaches to go over the previous season, what we need to improve upon. So I'm coordinating things year round. And then obviously if there's any kind of parent questions or any kind of issue with anything, that's something that I get to take care of as well. So there's a lot more that goes into it. And obviously your name is next to it. So when you lose, it's what'd you do wrong. So there's a lot more that goes into it, but it's a blast. It's a lot of fun. So
what are tryouts like?
So everyone makes a team. We don't cut anybody. We take anybody. Wow. So the preseason is just we're basically going 2.5 hours a day. We would meet before practice. We'd go over. All right, here's what we're doing on defense today. We break down by position. Here's what we're doing. Here's what we're drilling. Here's why. And then we'll switch to offense. Here's what we're doing. Here's why. Here's what we're thinking.
Nice.
And it's all based on the personnel that we have. And then we'll go out, walk through it in the field, and then we'll rip the practice so that they get multiple reps with it on the board, see it in the field slow, and then we buzz through practice at a fast tempo.
Nice.
Rocking and rolling. And then once we get to the year, when we're in season during the game week, Monday and Tuesday, our big work week, we'll go like 2 hours and 15 minutes. And then Wednesday, we'll tailor it back to about 2 hours. And then Thursday is like just helmets. We go out there for an hour and a half, just buzz through what we're doing next night. And then Friday night, we go rock and roll.
Nice.
Saturday morning is just a recovery day, watch film.
So what's creating a game plan like? We had any
Yeah,
big
that's
steps you
a
take?
phenomenal question. So defensively, so we have something called huddle. That's how we
Yeah.
exchange films with the other
Oh
team.
yeah,
So
we use that for volleyball too
Yep.
sometimes.
So we have that, and what we'll do is, from a defensive perspective, we'll break down their offense by personnel grouping, formation, play, down and distance. And then when you're done, we'll create a report. All right, so Arlington likes to run. They run the ball on first down every single time. So now from there we go, all right, what's a good run blitz versus that? Because we know they're going to run it versus those run plays. So that's kind of how we'll do that. What are their pass routes? Here's how we're going to fit them up in our coverages. Offensively, what we'll do is, how are they going to align to our formation? So we'll watch the other team's offense. If they have similar formations, how is this defense aligning to it? Where are they setting their defensive line? Where do they set safeties and things of that nature? And then we actually break down their defensive personnel.
Oh, cool.
How does this defensive lineman get off the ball? Does he push our guy back? Is he good? Does he get pushed back? So we can get a feel for where the weaknesses are in the defense and where we want to attack. So it takes a lot of time, about an hour and a half, 2 hours on Saturday.
Wow.
And myself and the defensive coordinator on the rest of the day, Saturday and Sunday, we'll put together the plan, and then we'll reconvene Sunday night via teleconferencing about what we're going to do and make sure we're all on board with it. And Monday we'll come in and rock and roll.
Nice. So what's your rivalry with Lexington like?
So right now we lost the last 2 games, so it's not much of a rivalry yet, but it will be. So we're looking forward to this year and getting that back on the right track for us. They've been very good the last couple of years with that's not an excuse, but they have been, and we're looking forward to the challenge this year and getting over that hump and trying to get that victory on Thanksgiving.
Of course.
Yeah.
What's your closest game then? Biggest hard game?
I would say the Melrose game last year. We were right there. We went down, scored the first drive, and it was a back and forth game. We ended up losing it at the end of the game, but it was our most physical game we played all year, most physical game we played in the last 2 years, and we just unfortunately didn't come out on top. But we're trying to kind of get over that hump with those physical games and finish them. That's why on the back of the shirt it says finish.
Oh yeah, good fight.
Yeah.
So, what are you expecting the team to? How are you expecting the team to come back after losing last year's playoffs?
I mean, they've had like I said earlier, they've had a tremendous focus in the off-season lifting. They've had an awesome focus in the preseason. If they can keep that focus, keep that intensity, play to our behaviors and within our culture, and play to our standard, they're going to be fine. We've had a good preseason. If they can do those things, for us, it's the mental part, getting over that mental hump. If they can push through that, I think we can be very competitive.
Nice. Let's see. So, how do you go back and forth between the season? You have your transitioning and all that stuff?
Transitioning to?
You're going through your school year and you're going into the coaching year. So do you
gotcha.
Go work through that all year? Do you transition at certain points? What's that like?
So that's a great question. So Monday we started as teachers.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I've already transitioned back into the school from 8 till 2:40. So I'm doing teacher professional development and stuff all day, and now I'm coming over to the high school after at 2:45, and we start practice at 3:30. We go 3:30 to 6.
Wow.
And then we'll start school Tuesday, and I'll go right into teaching, and then right after school, we're downstairs. We get out to the field by 3:45, and we're going to 6:15. Wow. And on some of those days, we're lifting after. So we're done some days 6:45 after the lift.
Wow.
7. So that's earlier in the week. As we go through the week during game week, the practices are shorter. But yeah, it's not really. There's really no transition. It's more you're thrown right back. Because we get those first 10 practices where there's no school, and then you're thrown right back into it.
Oh yeah.
You just kind of go and you just adapt. You just adapt to it every year. You've done it so many times now. You just adapt and adapt and adjust and become second nature once you get going again.
Working long days every day.
That's why the summers balance it all out.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Get that time off.
Very nice. Yeah. Thank you so much for talking to me. So now let's take a look at this month's player spotlight, featuring quarterback Kyle Pena, who will be joining us later in the show.
Hi, I'm Kyle Pena, and this is BNEWS Sports Hub Player Spotlight. So I came freshman year, and I wasn't starting. I was a little freshman, and then sophomore year we got a new coach, Coach McKay, and he really tested me at quarterback, and I think I earned my spot throughout my sophomore and junior year. Sophomore year, I was a little nervous because it was my first year starting at quarterback, and we had a new coach and everything. And I was a little nervous, but I think Coach McKay eased my way into it, and I got more comfortable. After our sophomore year, we didn't have a great year that year. And then junior year, we wanted to come out flying and like be better. And so yeah, we went 5-2 in the regular season, and that really was a step up from 0-7. And yeah, we really stepped it up. Being the captain and the quarterback, it's an honor, honestly. And I have to lead by example. I have to be that vocal leader to like push them, motivate them to be and try as hard as we can.
So I took over when Kyle was a sophomore, and he's been our starting quarterback ever since I've been here. You can just see the growth in him physically and mentally, how much stronger he's become. He has not missed a lift with our program since we have started. He's been at every single summer lift, every single off-season lift when he hasn't been playing another sport. So he's done a tremendous job with that. His work ethic, he's got a really good mastery of the offense now, having been his third year in it. So we're really looking forward to what he's going to do this year for us. He's going to play a major role for what we're doing. And it's just been very fun to watch how much he's grown from a sophomore from a physical standpoint to a senior, and even from a mental standpoint, how much more mature and how much more he understands the game. I mean, as a senior, we're looking for him to be a major leader on our team. He is one of the best players in the league, in my opinion. So we're looking for him to, you know, he's led by example ever since he's been here. He does a phenomenal job of leading by example. He's always the first one at practice in the morning. He's always the first one in the lifts. He's always the last one to leave. So he's already got that. We want to see him be a little bit more vocal this year and really take control of the offense, as it is his team. It's his offense now. So that's what we're looking for, him to make a big jump there, and I have no doubt he will, because he is as competitive as any player I've ever coached. And I've been fortunate enough to be around 2 Gatorade Players of the Year, one in Barica, one in Weston. He's got the same attributes: the great work ethic, the great attitude, extremely coachable. So we're looking forward to seeing him play this year, looking forward to take that step in his leadership role, and we can't wait to get things going.
I'm looking to just have a great senior year, get wins with my teammates, my brothers. I've been playing this game for like 8 years, and I just want to end it off on a great note.
Awesome. So now there's been several rule changes this year, and I'd like to ask you a couple questions about them.
Definitely.
So one of the rule changes are the use of video review allowed during playoffs. So what are your thoughts on that?
So yeah, we switched from NCAA rules to federation rules, which 49 out of the 50 states do now. Texas is the only one that doesn't use the rules that we're using now. That's why we switched.
Of course.
So sideline replay is going to be huge, because now, before we have to go by the eye test as coaches, but now we'll be able to actually show on an iPad. So when Kyle comes off after a series, I can show him exactly what the defense is doing. I can show him exactly what happened with the defense on whatever the pass play may be or whatever the run play may be. Yeah. Defensively, we can see exactly where they might have hit us on a run play or where they hit us on a pass play. We can show our guys real quick, all right, this is what you need to do. So it'll be a big advantage for a team that has it if a team doesn't have it, over a team that doesn't have it. So we already have it. We're looking forward to using it. It's a nice tool, nice coaching tool for us in live action. So it should be pretty interesting to see how that goes this year.
Yeah. There's also an additional 15 seconds added to the play clock. So instead of 25 seconds, you have 40 seconds. So how will this change clock management for the offense and defense?
That's actually another awesome question. So here's the deal with that 40 seconds, though. What's different about this than what we did before? The second the play is over, so let's say we run the ball, Kyle runs the ball, he gets tackled. The second he's tackled and the whistle blows, that 40-second clock starts, even before the ball is spotted, even before the chains get set. Yeah. So for us, we're going to have a ball boy in the sideline in case, say, we throw a ball and it goes way out of bounds. Yeah. That 40-second clock starts. So we got to get another ball into the game fast so we don't get those play clock violations. So there is a little loophole there with that. That 40 seconds starts right away. So realistically, what's going to happen is 25 seconds. By the time it gets to 25 is realistically when everything's set again anyways. So it ends up being almost 25 seconds again. So you just have to, your guys have to get up quick, get the ball to the ref, let the ref get it set, and get lined up ready to play. Yeah. The only time it's at 25 seconds is on like a kickoff. We kick it off to them, then it's stopped at 25 until the ref blows it. But in the middle of the drive, it's at 40. So any change of possession, it's a 25-second clock. But anytime you're in a possession, it's 40. Yeah. So.
All right. So tripping the runner is now prohibited. How does this affect players?
I mean, it's always been. It was under the old rules. It was a 15-yard penalty, anyways. So it's not going to really. I mean, that's not something I've ever ran across in a high school game anyways. It's one of those things where it's like more of a reaction by a defensive lineman. If he's falling down, sometimes they might stick their leg out. It's still a 15-yard penalty. So not something we teach. I don't anticipate it affecting too much.
Oh, cool. That's good. So, horse collar tackle edition. Nobody can grab the jersey directly below the back collar and pull the runner down. Have you seen any of your players do this?
We have not been called for a horse collar. So yeah, that's the old Terrell Owens rule where he broke his ankle back like 10, 15 years ago. You can't grab the back of or you can't do the front or the back. You can't grab the shoulder pad and yank them down that way.
Yeah.
So that's either side, or it can even be the side of the shoulder pad too. You can't yank anywhere in there. You can't yank it down. We don't even come close to teach them how to do that. So if that does happen, it's just because they were getting blocked or whatever, and we lunged for it. So it hasn't happened in the 2 years I've been here. I don't see it being an issue this year.
So have you been practicing like a different form of tackle, or have you just been continuing because there's no difference?
Yeah, there's no difference. We just continue the same thing we've been doing. We practice tackling every single day, the techniques of it and the fundamentals of it. We've done that every single day the last 2 years, and we did it my first year as well. So I don't see it being an issue.
Thank you so much. Next up, we will have Captains Kyle Pena and Chris Jones. Thank you so much for being here.
2 words for you. Pop quiz. Ready? Name any funny movie. A drama. Name a mystery. And one more thing. Name the movie your kids saw today in science class.
Know what really matters. Know about your kid's school. And know about your kid. Find out 100 ways to know more, do more.
All traumatic spinal cord injuries tend to happen the same way. Suddenly. Then finding yourself in a chair isn't the end of the world. It's just the end of the world you used to know. Paralyzing spine injuries can happen in sports, in car crashes, and falls. The most preventable is diving into shallow water. This is an accident that should never, ever happen.
Recovering from a severe spine injury means learning new ways to do all the old things. That's more challenging than you might imagine. It takes some very special support. All spine patients deserve this kind of therapy. Not all of them get it, which means the best way to treat a paralyzing spine injury is not to have one.
A lake, a river, a pool, the ocean. Don't ever dive in until you know what's below.
Brought to you as a public service by I Am Able Fitness.
Welcome back. And now I'm here with Captains Kyle Pena and Chris Jones. So, how long have you guys been playing football for?
I've been playing since I was 8 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
I actually didn't start playing until I was in the 8th grade because I was always bigger than everyone. But so it's going to be my 5th year playing. Can't wait to end it on a high note.
Nice. So what inspired you guys to start?
My dad really inspired me. He really gave me the football when I was a little kid, and I just fell in love with the game, and I love the game.
Cool.
Yeah, my dad also played football when he was in high school, and always grew up watching the Pats, obviously, winning Super Bowls, stuff like that. And as soon as I stepped on the field when I was in 8th grade, fell in love with it immediately. Just, out there working hard with your friends every day of the week and getting to play on Friday night there's nothing better.
Nice. So you guys are captains now. Congratulations. So what are some of the responsibilities that you have to take on?
We really need set an example for the younger teammates and show them how to do their things right and on and off the field, and it's a real privilege.
You guys got a lot of freshmen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we got a lot of freshmen.
So what are some things you have to teach them, really?
For me, with the offensive line, we have 4 new starters on the offensive line. So
nice.
It's been a process, just helping them with the technique, stuff like that, getting to know the plays. Obviously, as a 3-year starter, I know the offense a lot more well than they do. So just been helping them, just coaching them up, stuff like that, keeping them up, make sure they don't get too down on themselves.
Nice. So what are some things you've learned since you guys have been playing from your freshman year? So now that you're in senior year, what are some things that you've really picked up on?
I really picked up on you gotta work hard on every play, and you gotta give it your all. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
And that's pretty much all I picked up on.
Yeah, like what Kyle said, just you can't take a play off in practice, in a game, nothing like that. If you take a play off, you're hurting not just yourself but your team.
Yeah.
So you don't want to let your brothers down, especially on Friday night and messing up on a play, stuff like that.
Push hard every day. So what has been your favorite part playing for all these years?
What I love, my favorite part is just going out with your 10 other brothers and just trying to beat the other team and working hard to achieve one goal, and that's getting the win.
Nice.
Yeah, for me it's just been going out every single day and working hard with
with all my friends, and then it all coming together on Friday night and getting a
Nice.
big win. It's the best feeling in the world.
What's it feel like going out there on your first game Friday night, first one of the season?
It's really fun actually. Just like you get nervous at first, but then it's just like you just ease into it and it's really fun.
So what are some strategies that you've really picked up on from Coach McKay?
Some of the strategies are just working hard in the weight room and on the field and in the classroom too, and that's pretty much.
Yeah, for strategies, it's really for us just getting down, working hard, and beating the guy in front of you. That's really what football is. And there's a million strategies, but it comes down to just you beating the guy in front of you.
Nice. Are there any emotions that you go through when you're out there Friday night? Big mood?
Not really.
For me, it's just stuff's gonna go wrong, obviously, in a game. Like there's a million things that happen, so you just gotta keep playing the next play. Just if we gave up a sack or like throw an interception, fumble, you just gotta put the ball down and just keep playing.
Pick it back up. So if there's one message that you can give yourself for the rest of the season, what would that be?
You don't really know if the next play if it's gonna be your last play, so you gotta work hard, just go for it.
Yeah.
On each play.
Play every play like it's your last.
What is it like working out during practices and everything?
It's really a blast. Working with your teammates and just making a bond that no one can really break.
Yeah. For me, practice football practice is nothing like it. It's hard. They push us hard. The coaches know how to push us, and really at the end of the day, it's a grind, but you love it and you love playing with your brothers, so there's nothing like it.
What's it like working out in the weight room? How often are you guys there?
We're in the weight room Monday and Wednesday after practice, and it's just getting us bigger and stronger for tougher teams like Melrose, and teams like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how much strategizing goes into the plays of the game? Each individual play?
So for quarterbacks, I have to really know the routes the wide receivers run and the timing and going through my progression and everything. And
you've got to see the whole field, don't you?
Yeah, right. And it's it's hard at the same time, but it's easy at the it's pretty easy.
You've gotten used to it.
Yeah, I've gotten used to it.
For us, for the offensive line, is just really knowing our assignments, where everyone's going on the same play, who we're blocking, stuff like that, and then obviously pass protection, making sure that he's on his feet and be able to see and deliver the ball.
All right, thank you guys so much for talking to me today. That's all the time we have left, and that's all for this month's episode. I'd like to thank both my guests, Coach McKay, Kyle, Chris, and we'd also like to thank you for watching. I'm your host, Liz Gillespie, and we'll see you next time on the BNEWS Sports Hub.